welcome. This is part 4 of abstract drawing for 10 to 12-year-olds, and I'm Donna Anderson. So we've already had 3 sessions in abstract drawing, and we've done some different things. We've used graphite powder, just a regular pencil, what you'd call a lead pencil. We've used charcoal, and we've used a water-soluble pastel. Now what I'm going to have you use is a colored pencil. Now it may not be exactly like a colored pencil that you've used before. There are 2 different kinds that I use. One of them is an art stick, and it's just like a little block of color. It's just like a colored pencil, but this part would be inside of a wooden pencil. And I like being able to hold it like this and press down on it and use a point on the edge. And then the other thing I use is a Woodless colored pencil. See, this just has plastic around the edge. You can put it in a pencil sharpener and sharpen it. It does break. If you're holding it like this and press too hard, it'll snap, but that doesn't matter because then you can hold it like this, like the art stick. But that way there's more color. See how thick it is? It's that thick, and it's just a little piece of plastic on the outside of it. So you won't have any trouble using it. Now the picture that we're going to do this time, we're going to use a collage technique. And collage means that you glue something down on a paper. And so what we're going to do is take a piece of construction paper, and you can use any color you want. I chose a red piece. And we're going to use this piece of construction paper to try and figure out what our design is going to be for our abstract drawing. Now you can use all the colors you want. You could just do it in black and white if you wanted to and have that one little spot of color. I have another piece that I've glued some down to already. And then I'm going to work out what I'm going to do with that. I may just use black on this and see what happens. This one, as you see, I've already started with red and blue. So if you'll go get your materials together, I'll get mine started and we'll start to draw. Okay, so I just showed you this picture. It's one that I started. And what I did was I took a piece of regular white paper. Now I'm using a cardstock, which is a little bit thicker. Since I'm going to be using colored pencils and pressing down with them, I wanted to make sure that I didn't tear my paper. Sometimes if the paper is too soft, then the more you use it, it kind of rubs part of the paper off, and you may have seen that happen before. So you have to kind of decide what it is you're going to do. So on this, I'm going to use colored pencils, and I used a really dark art stick. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, if you don't find the same color you used before, it doesn't matter. But what I did on this was I glued this down. On here, I glued some down already. I still have a piece of paper that I've torn. Now, you can cut this with scissors, but it makes it really sharp on the edge. See how that edge just looks odd? This is much more interesting to look at. So what I do is I take and put 2 fingers on this side and 2 fingers on this side, and then it tears where I want it to tear. And if I want it to have a big place on it over here, I just hold on to it, because I am stronger than this paper is. And so I can make it do what I want. Now that still has that sharp edge on it right there. So I'm going to just tear that off. Okay. And then I can glue that down right there. Remember when we've used glue sticks before, I've told you that if you'll take the paper that you're going to glue down and you'll rub it on the glue stick, then you'll get glue all over it, and you won't get it on your paper. And the reason you don't want to get it on the paper other than where you glued down this is because sometimes the glue won't let the pencil attach to the paper. And if that happens, then it won't show up. Okay, now, so I have this new one here. I have this old one. So I'm going to work on the old one a little bit first. Now, as you've seen me work, you know that I really like to use scribble. If you are taking a drawing class, not just abstract drawing, but just a drawing class, then you'll find that your teacher will tell you that a drawing needs to have, and I'm putting the top on my glue stick so it doesn't dry up, a drawing needs to have a variation of line. Now, what does that mean? A variety of lines means that you may have one that's hard, like that. You may have one that's soft, like that. You may have one that's a zigzag, like that. Remember our list of lines, all the different lines that you can make? You need to think about that when you're making your drawing so that you can have some variety. And the reason you want variety is, again, because when you do this drawing, you want somebody to look at it. And if you don't have a variety of lines, they're going to get bored with it too. Now I'm kind of crossing this so I can make this a little bit solid back here. But personally, I like to have a little bit of white showing through. Now, you may say that too, but I have something that backs that up. What would you think that would be? Yep, a mold. I have 50 years at least of drawing experience. Now, can you say that? I doubt it. So you may have 5 or 6 if you started when you were really young and you're 10 or 12 now, then you may have 5 or 6 years of drawing experience. But I have 50 years of drawing experience. So listen to me when I tell you that you need to have a variety of lines. Now, I've got all these little scribble lines in here, and that's kind of making that look pretty cool, isn't it? All right, I like that part. All right, now I really like this color blue also, and that's this color. And I think I'm going to add some more of this color over here. And I'm going to let this continue as a line that goes around it. And notice I'm wiggling it, and I'm wiggling it because it gives it a different line quality. If I hold it all the same, then it's going to look like that. But if I wiggle it, then it's going to have a different look to it. So I want you to experiment while you're doing this and make sure that you get to try as many different kinds of things as you can. Now, the drawings you do this week may not be complete drawings. You may not want anybody to see them. But that doesn't mean that you don't have to do another drawing that you can show somebody, because you want at the end of the week to have a group of drawings that people can look at. And at the end of the week, I will have a group of drawings that you can look at, so we can show them together. All right, now I think that's all I'm going to do on this one right now. I want to show you how to start out, because this one was already started when we started the class. All right, so I have this. Now, what colors do I want to use? I used red paper on this because red shows up better on the camera and you can see it better. So if I'm going to use red, I might use another warm color, which would be orange. I might use a bright yellow. I might use a pale yellow, a beige almost. I might use a green. Now, why would I use a green? Well, red and green are complementary colors. That means that they're opposite each other on the color wheel. And when you use complementary colors, it makes the green look greener and the red look redder. You see a lot of this at Christmas time. Orange, a blue would be the complement of orange. And the yellow that I have there, a violet, if I can get it out of the package, a violet would be the complement of it. So when you see those two together, look how it makes them pop. All right, but those are not the ones we're going to use. I'm not using that blue on here. I'm using the green, and I'm using the red, And I'm using the yellows and oranges. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is to outline around these pieces, just like this. And I'm not going to pick up my pencil. I'm going to keep going. And I think right here, I'm going to make a big spiral. I don't know why. I just thought I would. And I'll go down here and go back around. And I think I'll make another big spiral right here. And then I'll go through here. That's not bad so far. Okay. I'll outline this one. It's kind of out there by itself, isn't it? I think I'll bring it on in and around. And I'll make a big spiral here. Now, I outlined around those pieces, but now I'm drawing on top of them, and it kind of makes it fit together. It's kind of like putting your arm around somebody and pulling them in close to them so that you look like a couple. Okay, now let's take some red. And I like making little lines next to each other. You've seen me do that before. As you begin to make decisions on your artwork, you tend to get into a certain area of working a certain way. And so I usually start with repeating a line. That kind of looks spiky, doesn't it? And this looks kind of soft. So maybe I'll just make little circles on the ends of these. Now I haven't really thought about anything other than the colors and making the lines go around. And maybe make a spiral over here with this color. And let this come out to it. So as you're drawing, you can just kind of let it develop. If you already have something in mind, that's good. You can draw something that you have in your head. You can have an idea of the different sizes of something you want to use, the different colors you want to use, the shapes you want to use. This kind of looks like, I don't know what that kind of looks like, actually. I had a thought and then I lost it. So we go up here. All right, now you'll notice that I'm just making lines and they probably are all the same width and they all seem to go kind of soft and hard. But what I could do is come back with this green and make some really hard lines. If you were thinking of music, then this would be kind of soft and melodical. Ta-da, ta-da. And this would be wow, wow, wow. If that doesn't work for you, then maybe this needs to be like kind of soft and melodical too. All right. So I don't know where I'm going with this, but I wanted to let you know that you could do different things like this. I could even fill in this whole area right here just with a soft color. Now this is not like the pastel that we used before. I can't go back with water and make this blend. So I have to let it go like this, or I could make it like all one direction. You can kind of go all one direction to make it more solid. When you were a little kid, you would color in all different directions and it would just look crazy. But as you got older, even just coloring you could go in all one direction and make it look more even or more solid. Now I can also make it darker right here and have it fade out. But keep in mind that you are controlling that pencil. Don't let it control you. You decide how hard or soft you press down. Now over on this other side, I could let this be orange in here and press down really hard so it'd be a bright orange. And I could go by the lines I've already drawn. I could also go back with some of this and kind of blend those two together. But as you draw this, think about what kind of line you have. Think about what colors you're going to use together. We're only going to use that one cool color, the green. So I could add some yellow in here too while I'm working on it. I'm not sure yellow goes there. What if yellow goes down here? Maybe it goes through these colors. It's kind of nice. I like that meandering line, yellow line. I could even make another one go up through there. And I could go around my spiral again. And down here. Then I could take my red and go around this spiral. Kind of takes away from that a little bit, doesn't it? So maybe I should color this in yellow. Okay, then as I work on this with the pencil where I can hold it a little tighter, I can make these a little darker. Press down more. And the little ends on them could be a little more sharp. All right, so we have this one that we started with. We have this one that we're working on now. So you have a lot of time to work on one of your own, and I want to see it. So as I've said before, if there's an adult in your house, have them take a picture of your picture when you finish and send it in to the Knoxville Museum of Art, because we want to know what you're working on. So have a great time, and I want you to keep making art. You're an artist. Day 4. We glued a piece of paper down. This is what I showed you to begin with, and I did finish it up a little bit. All right. Here's the one that you saw me working on that had the pieces of paper glued down everywhere. And I used colored pencils on it. I like it. Colored pencils actually don't rub off or they don't smear, so you're okay. And remember, with an abstract, you should be able to turn it in any direction and just decide which way you like it best. When I was working on this, I thought about the lines chart that we did. So I have a lot of different lines on here. So you might want to keep this little chart around or in your sketchbook so that you can think about what kind of lines you want to use on your drawing next time.